Hello. Today we're going to be learning Likkutei Torah daf samachay. We are basing this on the pasuk al yamru hamoslim ba'u Cheshbon, and this is going to be an examination of a interpretation of our sages that reads this verse as those who rule over their inclination will or do calculate the calculations of the world, and so we're going to try to understand what that means. We're also going to try to understand another quote from our sages, which says that those that say Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah with all their strength tear up a decree of 70 years. Now, to understand both of these kind of perplexing sayings, we also want to understand why it is that the soul has to come down to this earth. Given that the soul was in such a holy place, in such a great place prior to its descent, why is it that the soul has to come down here? And so to understand all that, we are going to review the concept of creation according to Kabbalah and Chassidus, which explains that creation is done through a combination of mamala and seviv. And so first we're going to discuss mamala. Mamala is the energy that fills the world, that permeates the world and provides them with vitality. And the hallmark of mamala is that it lessens as it goes down. And the way this is described in the Sefer Yetzirah is through this formula of Olam, Shana, and Nefesh, which literally means world, year, and soul. So the Olam perspective, the world perspective, is that that creation exists as an empty vessel to receive godliness. The Nefesh, the soul is the vitality that goes into that empty vessel. And the amount of vitality that's going to be received at each level is going to be defined by the quality of the vessel. So just like in our world, some things receive far less vitality, like rocks, and vegetation receives slightly more, and animals will receive slightly more, and all the way up to humans that receive the most. And this pattern is followed throughout all of creation, including the spiritual worlds, that those worlds that are of a higher quality receive more vitality. And the shana, the year, is the connector between the two, because there's a tension between spirituality and physicality, or the connection to God and creation, and that tension is defined by this shana. So to sum up, mamala, as described by Sefer Yetzirah, is the creative energy that produces a hierarchy of worlds, and in each world less and less vitality is received based on how much the world can handle. That will define how much light can enter. And overall we call these worlds almin, or worlds. But the word almin can also be read as helem. That the definition of the world is concealment. How the word helem means concealment. Now, seviv is precisely the opposite. Seviv gives to everything equally, and in seviv there is no concealment. There's no perspective. The seviv is the divine energy which does not enter the worlds completely, and it does not, and therefore it is not in any way concealed. So the goal of the Jewish people on this earth is to unite these two perspectives and to provide creation with an appreciation of the fact that God really exists independent of creation, that seviv does exist. Now, the way that we do this is particularly by being within the world through the mitzvahs, by bringing God into the world through the positive commandments, and particularly by holding ourselves back from engaging in the world overly much, and of course, when engaging in the world would be forbidden by the Torah. When we opt out of that, we are revealing God in the world, and we're particularly revealing this perspective of God being unchanged, of there being a possible or potential revelation of God that can exist in all the worlds equally. And this is our function. So when we say Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah, the Shmei Rabbah, the word translated as Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavarach, may it be that your great name will be blessed. So Shmei Rabbah, the great name of God, is a reference to Seviv, and Mevarech, to bless, is always a reference to revelation and to drawing something down into a lower place, or into a more revealed state. So what we are saying when we say Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach is, may it be that the perspective of Seviv Shmei Rabbah be drawn down, Mevarach may be drawn down into all of the worlds, and that's our request of Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah. Now, what does it mean that tears up the decree of 70 years? So we know that just like there are the seven divine, there's the 10 divine attributes, 3 intellectual and 7 emotional. So too there are 7 emotive attributes, 7 emotive negative attributes, and each of those attributes is made up of 10. So 7 can be read as 7D, and so this decree of 70 years is a decree on man, that man was put into a physical body on a physical earth, and was given these, as it says in Psalms, a 70-year lifespan is the projected lifespan of a person, and each of those in man's the simple or most basic version of man's existence on earth is that he experienced these 70 years from the perspective of creation. And what we're saying when we say Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah, we are requesting and we are asking, we are trying to bring that perspective that will break the decree of 70 years and allow us to experience the years of our lives within this Shmei Rabbah, within this Seviv perspective. And this also can explain the other quote, which was that those who control their will are those who contemplate the contemplations of the world. So what this means is that when I control myself, when I assert myself and assert my control over my desires, I am realizing the original calculation of why creation happened in the first place, which was that God be revealed within it.